start with what's going to be the ANC Gauteng Provincial Conference getting underway today. Deputy Provincial Chairperson Panyaza Lesufi and Lebogang Maile are going head-to-head for the position of chairperson. We're all going to watch this one very closely. Well, what are the expectations? Let's now speak to political analyst Matlatla Sekholige joining us this morning. Matlatla, hello to you. Good to have you with us on eNCA. So, off the bat, two very big names within the ANC going head-to-head this weekend. Just give me your summation. How do you see this playing out in what's going to be an incredibly hotly contested campaign this weekend?
Thanks and morning. Thanks for having me. Look, firstly, as you correctly say, that it's a hotly contested leadership contest. I think we are going to have an outcome that reflects a mixture of both slates from both sides. But you must remember that at the heart of Lebogang Maile's campaign is what could be regarded as a revolt by the younger generation within the ANC to say that it's time that the ANC recognizes the younger leaders. The feeling has always been that a generational mix within the ranks of the ANC is spoken of but hardly implemented. So Lebogang Maile's campaign or provincial chairperson bid could be construed as an attempt to force the ANC to actually action that generational mix that they always refer to. The regional conferences across Gauteng gave an indication of what to expect. I mean, the way the Ekurhuleni conference went, by the way, is still disputed. We might have a rerun. But as things stand, Lebogang Maile's campaign is in the front foot there. You come to Tshwane, where Lebogang Maile's allies actually won the regional conference as well. The West Rand is one region that has an RTT, but the intimations are that it also supports Lebogang Maile's campaign. You have Sedibeng, which currently seems to be aligned itself with Panyaza Lesufi.
Well, that's the region, isn't it, that's busy dealing with legal action by aggrieved ANC members in Sedibeng. But it almost seems to be par for the course, doesn't it, that there are some aggrieved members in every ANC conference that we're going to. And you mentioned Sedibeng, so let's talk about that quickly. How do you see that playing out? It looks like it might get a bit messy.
There's disputes always in regional conferences when it comes to the ANC. But I think the major dispute here lies in Ekurhuleni, where remember that even though that the regional executive council was elected, it was provisional. They spoke of quarantined votes. I think there was 19 at the time. But it has since come to the fore that about 27 branches from Ekurhuleni are disputed. And the ANC might actually order the rerun of the regional conference. While there's disputes in Sedibeng, the main tipping point might be the decision of the NEC around the Ekurhuleni regional conference.
I find it interesting as well, the reports we've been seeing this entire week, that the two main players here, MEC for Education, Panyaza Lesufi, of course, and Human Settlements MEC, Lebogang Maile, at each other's throats, accusing each other of vote rigging and manipulation. I'll tell you why I find it interesting. Tell me why, what you think of this. Is there's very little about what each person stands for. It's more about accusations and counter-accusations towards each other. There isn't much substance so far as to what they each offer. It's all just a bit of mudslinging at the moment.
Have differences within the ANC ever been based on substance in recent times? I think that's the question we should always ask ourselves when we see this mudslinging unfolding right in front of our eyes. Look, and originally anyway, Gauteng as a province was expected to back Cyril Ramaphosa second time. So it was always going to be a clash of personalities more than anything else. But the latest developments indicate that there might be some unhappiness with Cyril Ramaphosa's camp coming out of the Adiwele faction of Gauteng. This primarily emanates from the fact that Cyril Ramaphosa's people are suspected to have interfered with the proceedings, or in terms of the lead-up to the provincial conference in Gauteng. So Adiwele seems to have now changed tune. If you have listened to several utterances by Lebogang Maile, he has refused to pronounce on who his faction will support going towards the national conference. But ultimately, it's a clash of personalities more than anything else.
Yeah, it is a big clash of personalities, but I suppose the issue as well for the ANC, especially in Gauteng, is very much on the verge of losing a lot of support in Gauteng. Three major metros in last year's local government elections were very, very tenuous, wasn't it, for the ANC? And remember as well, back in the 2019 general elections as well, a very narrow win. So the ANC in Gauteng has to be careful not to allow these divisions to lose them votes.
I think it has become inevitable that the ANC at some point will lose Gauteng. Whether it's in 2024 or in 2029, that's the only thing that still needs to be decided. Whether the ANC is united or divided, my take is that that matters less. What matters in terms of electoral outcomes is basic service provision, is the public service performing its task to ensure that economic growth and socio-economic development are facilitated, so that we have a state of what we can refer to as a substantial democracy, a democracy that goes beyond people going to vote on election day, but people actually feeling empowered, not only empowered in terms of participating in governance processes, but also an improvement in the standard of life. Whether the ANC is united or divided is neither here nor there. I think what matters the most is the ANC's ability to govern.
So when we talk about, and I want to pick up on what you said about the ANC losing Gauteng, probably 2024 could be the elections after that as well. Is this all due to self-implosion, or do you think it's because the opposition political parties are just starting to do a better job and capitalizing on the ANC problem? So is it self-implosion, or is it going to get taken away from them?
It's never going to get taken away. We have a problem of opposition parties in our country. And I do believe that some have correctly labeled our situation a democracy of no alternatives in terms of alternative political parties to insert in power. So this is completely will be on ANC's doing, that they might lose electoral support to a point that they fail to actually take the reins within government.
I appreciate your time. No doubt we're going to speak again. What's going to be a very, very interesting weekend. ANC Gauteng elective conference. Always good to have Matlala Sehlogile joining us, political analyst here on eNCA. Of course, you can expect ongoing build-up coverage to the elective conference and this weekend as well. A lot to come out of this. There's a lot to play for. There's a lot to lose. And I think it's between the two ANC members in Gauteng who get a lot of airtime as well. These aren't members of the ANC that have come in from behind closed doors. Everybody will know Lesufi. Everybody will know Maile.
Absolutely.
So who is going to walk out on top, and who could counter that and complain, depending who wins. Fascinating politics coming up.